Hey, welcome to the House of L. This week we're going to be talking about Human for a Day, in which our very own Kara Danvers / Zor-El figures out exactly what makes her truly a hero. Without her powers, Kara actually becomes more badass because she's able to talk somebody out of robbing a store at gunpoint and just shames them so much that they give her their gun. It's kind of amazing to watch. Now, other versions of Supergirl, like in the comics, sometimes depending on who's writing her, she tends to punch first and ask questions later because she's very headstrong and very determined to fight bad guys. But on this show, I love how she talks first, and then if she has to throw a punch, she totally will. Now, in some cases, I might be conflicted by a female character doing this. After all, it kind of falls into, like, nurturing female stereotypes. Like, women do a lot of talking, and we're really good at talking and communicating. And that might bug me if this were any other show, but it really works on Supergirl. And in order to explain why, I want to kind of compare it to another Greg Berlanti superhero show, The Flash. Now, if you haven't watched the last couple of episodes of The Flash, you might want to stick fingers in your ears and go blah, blah, blah. But in the recent episode, Guerrilla Warfare, we have the return of Gorilla Grodd. And he ends up mind-controlling Kaitlynn to get him a bunch of chemicals that he needs because he wants to make more smart gorillas like him. Why? Because he's lonely and he has daddy issues and Reverse Flash isn't there anymore to tell him what to do. So he feels lost and he's a big intelligent gorilla who doesn't know what to do with himself. Now Kaitlynn has always been really nice to him. Even with everything that he's done, she tries to be understanding, and so he's always vulnerable around her and tells her what's up. So 2 times in this episode, Kaitlynn is in the middle of talking him down. She's on the verge of getting him to be like, okay, I don't need to rampage, all right. And then a big team of dudes comes in, swooping in to save her. Like, she had the situation under control, and she was totally chatting with Grodd and being like, hey, dude, I totally get you. Let's figure this out. And then everybody's like, we gotta save Kaitlynn. And it's like, I had this. You just wrecked everything. So at the end of that episode, Kaitlynn is used to lure Grodd to a rupture in order to send him to the other Earth, to someplace with gorillas like him. Gorilla City, what? But instead of Kaitlynn just talking to Grodd the way she always does, and being like, hey, listen, there's this great gorilla resort that you can go to, and it'll be totally chill. You might be able to find a girlfriend who you can talk politics with. It'll be great. Instead of letting her do that, all these dudes, again, swoop in to save Kaitlynn and shove him forcibly through the rupture and to Gorilla City. So, whereas Kaitlynn could have talked him down and convinced him to go to this other place with lots of gorillas just like him, like he always wanted, and he could have arrived at Gorilla City and been like, Gorilla City, a great resort for intelligent, discerning gorillas. Now, they shove him in there, and he's all, Gorilla City, the place where I can make my army. Meanwhile, Iris in the episode just kind of stands around agreeing with everybody and hugging people. Like, that's pretty much her function the whole episode. And she doesn't say anything really. I mean, she brings the Flash's dad back. That's cool. But other than that, like, she serves no purpose in this episode. And I'm like, why can't you have Kaitlynn's back? So now let's compare that to Supergirl, a show that has gender parity. 3 guys, 3 girls. And more importantly, all of the women are written really well. So you don't have to worry about stereotypes because Kara can be the kind of person who talks somebody down from robbing a store or committing a crime. Because you've got Alex over here being the action woman, shooting 2 guns in the air, bah, 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 and being that person. And then you've got Cat Grant, who's the queen of all media and being all businessy. You've got Cat Grant being a mom. You've got the sister relationship. You've got nuances in female relationships going on all over the place, so you don't have to worry about Kara coming off as a stereotypical nurturing female because you've got so many different females to choose from. Stereotypes become less important the more diversity you have among your characters. The more women you have, the less you have to worry about any of those women being perfect or being a correct representation of a woman, because it doesn't matter because there's so many of them. There's as many differences in personalities as there are women. And Supergirl is great at showing that. And so it allows Kara to be exactly the unique kind of hero she wants to be, because there are so many other women around her doing different things. So if there ever is a Flash Supergirl crossover, Kara probably would have been able to talk to Gorilla Grodd, and she would have had Kaitlyn's back. Come on, Berlanti, get it together. Well, that's our House of L for this week, which kind of sort of became the House of Grodd. I love Grodd. And for the record, I would love to have a big, giant, intelligent gorilla best friend. Like, it would be like Clifford the Big Red Dog, but better because it's a giant, genius gorilla. Like, who's that? Oh, nobody. Just my genius gorilla friend. I mean, how cool would that be? Anyway. There's plenty of Supergirl stuff going on. Got my recaps on Tuesdays. Have Supergirl Radio at supergirlradio.com every Wednesday. And of course, every Thursday, another House of L for you to enjoy. So tell us what you think about the episode in the comments below. And we'll see you next week at the House of L.